Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for Norcal APEX Accelerator's webinar, Doing Business with the U.S. General Services Administration, or the GSA. My name is Amanda Anderson. I'm the program coordinator for Norcal APEX Accelerator, and today I'm joined by Lori Falkenstrom and Anthony Carrazzo with the GSA. They'll be giving the bulk of this presentation today, but before I do pass it over to them, I want to make you all a little bit more aware of how Norcal APEX Accelerator and APEX accelerators across the country can help you with government contracting. So the APEX Accelerator program is a federally funded nonprofit system that sets up APEX Accelerator centers nationwide. We currently have about 96 centers that are all here for you and businesses just like you to help you figure out what you need to do to successfully contract with the government. And that can be government at the local, county, or city level, at the state level, or even at the federal level. We help with everything from getting your first certifications and first registrations to contract compliance after you win your first one. And since we are federally and state funded through grants, all of our resources and services are offered at absolutely no cost to you. So with that kind of nationwide network, there's absolutely a center that you can connect with for no cost government contracting assistance. But as for Norcal APEX Accelerator, we offer our services to the northern coastal California and a little bit inland, as you can see on the map on the slides. And we are able to offer our education and our training and our services in three main pillars. First, our one-on-one counseling services, where if you are within our service area, you can sign up with us for absolutely no cost and meet with a procurement specialist who can sit down with you one-on-one and discuss any issues or hurdles you may be having with your government contracting goals. And they can help you not only problem solve, but work through those issues to get you to that success. Another way that we offer assistance is through our custom bid matching program, where we actually pay for a service that you get for absolutely no cost. And it scrubs all of the various procurement websites where all of these contracts and these bid opportunities are being posted. And based on criteria that you have set down with your counselor, it'll send you relevant and timely bid opportunities directly to your inbox. And honestly, finding the opportunities can be quite a hassle. So having this bid matching, especially at absolutely no cost to you through an APEX Accelerator, is a huge boon. And our third and final pillar of assistance is one you're actually taking advantage of right now, our resources and trainings that we put on throughout the year. Not only is our website a fantastic resource for government, state, and local contracting, but we also host many webinars just like this one throughout the year from various topics of general basics of how to do business with the government to sessions like our GSA event today, or even a federal small business liaison panel we did this summer. So if you haven't connected with our website and possibly even our newsletter, please do so. Absolutely no cost resources for you, so take advantage of them. And before I do pass it along to Lori, I do want to say a little disclosure. Because we do record these events, this information provided herein is accurate to the best of the presenter's ability at the time of this presentation. Some or all of the provisions mentioned herein could or may be changed by the current administration with or without prior notice. Government contracting and government in general tends to change fairly quickly and with minimal notice most of the time. So everything is accurate as of today, but if you are seeing this recording a little later on, reach out to your Apex Accelerator and they'll absolutely be able to help you with the most updated information. And with that, I will go ahead and pass it off to Lori.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Amanda. And hello, everyone. We are delighted to be here and appreciate you joining us today. We would like to take this time again to thank our host, Amanda and Taylor, with the Norcal APEX for the invitation to talk about GSA. I will come off camera, so moving forward, so we can stay focused on the slides. And I know when I say next slide, Amanda, you'll be able to just advance that for me.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's go ahead to the next slide if you don't mind. Okay, again, my name is Lori Falkenstrom, and my awesome co-presenter today is Anthony Caruso. We are your small business specialists with the U.S. General Services Administration, Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization. If you'd like more information about any of the topics today, please reach out to us directly and we can provide you with more details. Or of course, you can work with your local APEX office. You can also work with SBA, the SCORE, and SBDC offices. Everyone will receive a copy of today's presentation. And last but not least, if you can please send us your capability statement directly, our contact information will be on the very last slide. Next slide, please. So here's a list of topics we will cover today. We will start with an agency overview. It's very important to get to know your customer agency or potential customer agency. We'll talk about accessing federal contract opportunities. There's more than one way of doing that. Share some tips on marketing to the federal government. And we will talk about the GSA multiple award schedules, also known as MAS, and share some small business resources. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so GSA is a federal civilian agency, and this slide gives you a snapshot about GSA and our mission. And our mission is to deliver value and savings in real estate, acquisition, technology, and other mission support services across the federal government. And GSA provides workplaces by constructing, managing, preserving government buildings, leasing, and managing commercial real estate. GSA is one of the federal government's largest buyers and contracts for billions of dollars worth of products and services for other federal civilian agencies and DoD customers worldwide. Our policies promote management best practices and efficient government operations. So what does this mean to a small business? GSA serves the very same customer agencies you're marketing directly to. So if you're interested in selling to the federal government, it may be worth your time to explore what GSA has to offer. And I hope this information will help shed some light on where to start. Next slide, please. So GSA is made up of two components which offer contract opportunities. We have our Public Building Service, also known as PBS, and our Federal Acquisition Services, also known as FAST. We'll start with PBS. GSA and PBS lead the way in green building design, construction, retrofit, sustainable operations, and maintenance. And GSA is considered the government's landlord, and as you can see, PBS owns and or leases over 8,000 assets. GSA maintains an inventory of more than 370 million square feet of workspace for 1.1 million federal employees and preserves more than 500 historic properties. Here's a short list of the services PBS procures. And if you're looking to identify potential PBS opportunities, you can check out our GSA forecast, our GSA subcontracting directory, sam.gov, the GSA mass and indefinite delivery and indefinite quantity, also known as IDIQ contracts. So if you are offering services in construction, maintenance, building operations, leasing, or other related construction services, we recommend you start by visiting the GSA PBS website you see listed here. Next slide, please. We're now going to switch over to our Federal Acquisition Service, also known as FAS. Now, FAS offers access to a wide variety of contract opportunities. Their contract vehicles offer billions of dollars worth of products and services and facilities that federal agencies need to serve the public. There is always an open solicitation available for you to become an industry partner, helping GSA supply federal agencies with high quality products and services. Now, here's a short list of the products and services GSA procures through FAS, and there's obviously going to be a lot more. You can find opportunities through the FAS by checking out our forecast, subcontracting directory, the GSA Mass, the IDIQ contracts, and the government-wide acquisition contracts, also known as GWACs. And I want to quickly mention one last FAS service. So not only does GSA procure, but we also auction off real estate, furniture, computers, vehicles, etc. So we've provided our GSA auctions website list below. Next slide, please. So Anthony and I work in the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization, and we are your small business advocate. We oversee the small business programs and provide counseling to small businesses on how to do business with GSA. We promote increased access to GSA's nationwide procurement opportunities by working with our acquisition workforce. We monitor and implement small business policies and manage a range of programs mandated by law. Our office is referred to as the front door for small businesses looking to do business with GSA. If you're not sure where to start, you can reach out to our office and we'll help get you started, or you can reach out to your local APEX office. They can provide you with help with responding to our solicitations, in addition to numerous other services, all at no cost. Next slide, please. So we wanted to quickly share a snapshot of GSA's history as far as small business achievements. This scorecard shows our GSA grades going back as far as 2016 to 2021. We haven't added it to this slide, but GSA has received another A+ for fiscal year 22. Next slide, please. On this slide, we're proud to share a snapshot of our small business spend for fiscal year 2022. It shows GSA's small business goals as well as our achievements. We have exceeded all of our goals in all categories, and this speaks to the volume of the tremendous efforts made within our GSA acquisition workforce and in working with our resource partners like the APEX and our small business industry partners like yourselves. Next slide, please. And this slide shows the government-wide statutory goals based on the Small Business Act. And on the right side, you'll see GSA's fiscal year 2023 goals, small business prime goals. Next slide. So small businesses will always be our top priority. And as we continue to increase small business participation in our acquisitions, and we advocate for all socioeconomic categories, including small disadvantaged, veteran-owned, service-disabled veteran-owned, hub zone, and women-owned small businesses. And I would like to briefly share just information specific to service-disabled veteran small businesses. SBA oversees the Veteran Small Business Certification Program, and we've listed the SBA Vet Cert website here, so you can review the information and resources. They also have a fact sheet on how to apply for certification. You can visit the link we've provided here. And there's a lot of information to learn about the small business programs. We recommend you visit our website so you can get to know more about our office. The map you see here shows the different regions. Now we're located, Anthony and I are located in Region 9, which is the Pacific Rim region. And we cover all of California, Nevada, Arizona, and Hawaii. And this map will help you identify the other states each region covers. So please feel free to reach out to your local GSA small business specialist in any region you're looking to do business with GSA. Next slide, please. Okay, accessing federal contract opportunities. Let's go to the next slide. Now, there may be businesses here who have already gone through this process, but for those who are not familiar on the minimum requirements in order to do business with the federal government, let's quickly cover the minimum requirements. If you want to do business with GSA or any other federal agency, you will have to visit these important websites. You must register in sam.gov, which stands for System for Award Management. And this system ties into how the federal government and potential teaming partners like large businesses or other small businesses will find your company by completing your company profile, as well as how the government will pay you, which is really important. Y'all want to get paid, I understand. And we will also, you will also be issued a unique entity identifier, UEI number, through the sam.gov entity registration process. Now, the UEI replaced the DUNS number in April of last year. If you're already in SAM, you'll notice your assigned UEI. Your DUNS number will be used for historical information. And please remember to update your capability statements to include your UEI. We've listed the website here for more information. And we are seeing quite a few capability statements, very recent, that still listed the DUNS number and did not have the UEI listed. So we just highly recommend that you go back and add that. You will also need to identify your NAICS code, which stands for North American Industry Classification System. And the NAICS code represents your industry, and it is critical in doing business with the federal government. When a federal agency is posting an opportunity, it'll be specific to a NAICS code, which helps identify the size standard, and it identifies the small businesses available. So you can have more than one NAICS code, and you can be both large and small, depending on the NAICS code size standard. It is also important to determine your business category and also any social economic status, for example, woman-owned, hub zone, which stands for historically underutilized business zone, the 8A, or service disabled veteran owned business. And these, there's contracting benefits for small business by social economic category. So it's important to identify each category that you're eligible for. If you fall into any of these categories, there will be opportunities set aside, especially for each of those categories. This will allow you to pursue specific social economic set-asides. It's also critical you update your SAM profile with the correct NAICS code you're conducting business in. So agencies and potential teaming partners searching for companies in your industry will be able to find you. And last, you will also need to identify your business size, and the size changes depending on the product or service you offer. So please visit the website listed here. There's a lot of research to do during this stage of the process, so we highly recommend working with your local APEX office. We don't know what we would do without them, and they're just a really great resource, and they're free. They will walk you through this whole process. Next slide, please. Another key item that you will need to know is your product service code, also referred to as your PSC. Using your PSC will allow you to filter your specific product or service. The NAICS code and PSC codes represent a major tool used by government agencies to classify procurements for goods and services. So the NAICS code classifies commercial activity into broad business categories, for example, like manufacturers, wholesalers, retail, and services. Whereas the PSC codes are used to describe products and services in a more detailed fashion. So remember, the NAICS code is what you do, what industry, and your PSC is how you're doing it. Both of these codes are used by all federal agencies. Next slide, please. So GSA posts contract opportunities on sam.gov. It is the government point of entry for federal agencies to post contract opportunities. special notices such as events, requests for information, also known as RFIs, pre-bid conferences, and sources sought notices, which we'll talk about here shortly. You will also find the synopsis and solicitations as well on this site. And it is growing and has consolidated numerous other sites, which includes the Department of Labor, wage determinations, and the contract data reports, which was moved from the Federal Procurement Data System, also known as FPDS. And again, we'll talk a little bit about that as well. If you're new to SAM.gov, please check out their Learning Center for guidance or contact your local APEX office. Next slide, please. Okay, so if you're looking to get your foot in the door with federal contracting, subcontracting for a GSA prime vendor is a great way to do this. Our GSA prime contractors who have received federal contracts over $750,000 for products and services, or $1.5 million for construction contracts, may have potential subcontract opportunities for you. You can utilize our GSA subcontracting directory, and as you can see from this snapshot, you can enter your search either by the contractor's name, NAICS code, or state. You can also find primes at our GSA e-library website, and you don't have to hold a GSA mass contract in order to subcontract with them. We recommend that you visit both websites to do further research. Next slide, please. Another great website for federal subcontracting opportunities is SBA's subnet. Small businesses can search for potential contract opportunities with large prime contractors. You can choose the location from the subnet map, and it will provide you with a list of contract opportunities by location, the closing date, point of contact, description of the opportunity, and much more. We highly recommend that you visit the SBA's subnet website. It's definitely another way of obtaining federal contract opportunities if you're not ready to be a prime contractor. And the prime contractors actually list the opportunities themselves, so they're posting that information directly. Next slide, please. So you can also find potential contract opportunities by visiting GSA's Forecast of Contracting Opportunities site. But at the moment, the site is under development. There are some opportunities currently posted, but you will have to check back with the website for updates. We recommend you spend some time on this website to become familiar with it. All government agencies maintain a Forecast of Contract Opportunities website, and we are required to post all future or expected requirements over $25,000 for supplies and services onto our forecasting site. The information is entered by GSA program managers or contracting staff. GSA's forecast site also includes opportunities from the Department of Labor, Department of Interior, Office of Personnel Management, the Small Business Administration, the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and we will be adding the U.S. Department of Veterans, which is noted on the slide. You will have filters to select by the NAICS code, the agency, location, and other options. So if you want to view the details of a specific project, you will see we have highlighted the View Details tab. So just click on that to see the point of contact and all the other information. And again, when you're trying to connect with the federal agency, you're always trying to look for that particular point of contact or office that solicits or is soliciting for your specific product or service. So that point of contact is golden when you get to view the details on the Forecast of Contract Opportunities. And we've also provided the websites below to access GSA's forecast. And we've also provided the acquisition.gov link, which gives you access to all of the federal agencies' recurring procurement forecasts. And just keep in mind, each forecast is laid out differently, and not all of these requirements listed in the forecast will be awarded. They are uploaded to give contractors an overview of what should be coming out from that agency. Next slide, please. So GSA's e-library is a great source for finding the latest GSA contract award information, which includes the GMAS, GSA Mass, the government-wide acquisition contracts, also known as GWACs, technology contracts, and assisted acquisition services. You can enter information such as the NAICS code or keywords and view your competition on the mass. And more importantly, their price lists for their products and services. If you want to dig deeper, there are other sites, tools, and training that you can access from this website listed under additional information. So you'll see additional information, the box, and it has links specifically for contractors. Next slide, please. Here's a list of GSA's government-wide acquisition contracts, also need GWACs. A GWAC is a pre-competed multiple award, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity IDIQ contract that agencies can use to buy total IT solutions. So through these GWACs, the federal government can buy cost-effective, innovative solutions for IT requirements. The total contract ceiling dollar for each GWAC is in the billions, and our federal customer agencies utilize these vehicles. So what does this mean for a small business? If you're in the IT industry, please visit the website you see here and view the list of contract holders. There may be potential teaming or subcontracting opportunities with the contract holders. You'll see on the right side of the slide, the Alliant 3 request for proposal will be solicited sometime in fiscal year 2024. And the beginning of fiscal year 2024 will be October 1st. For those of you who are new to doing business with the federal government, it's not by calendar year. You can still view the Alliant 3 draft request for proposal by visiting the link on sam.gov. And the GWAC team for Polaris will provide updates through sam.gov as well. There was recently an update, I believe, that was posted regarding amendments for that. And you can get updates on all of our GWACs by signing up at GSA's Interact. Please visit the website you see listed here under GSA Interact. It's really important that you sign up at GSA Interact because you're interacting with the contracting officers, the teaming partners, and you will also sometimes receive information before our office gets it. Next slide. Okay, let's see here. The GSA Oasis is another list of GSA's IDIQ contracts. Through the Oasis, the federal agencies have access to a list of core services, including program management, management consulting, logistics services, engineering and scientific services, and financial services. So you can view an additional list of services by visiting the Oasis website, and you can view the examples of core disciplines and the scope of what can be procured. There's a PDF link on the Oasis website. If you are a small business and interested in getting on Oasis, there is a competitive process called on-ramping, and on-ramps can be conducted as necessary at GSA's discretion. GSA does not plan to conduct additional on-ramps at this time. The immediate opportunity is to become a subcontractor with an existing Oasis unrestricted or Oasis small business prime contractor. You can reach out to the prime contract holders by visiting the Oasis website. Also, please keep an eye out for the new GSA Oasis Plus contract program. GSA is finalizing the acquisition strategy for the new Oasis Plus contract program. You can get all of the information on all of the Oasis contracts by visiting the website listed here. And please also, again, sign up for the GSA's Interact for all program updates. Next slide. Okay, next slide. Okay, we're almost halfway done, everyone, so thanks for hanging in there. It is important to build your sales pipeline using data that can help you develop a marketing strategy and improve your efficiency and effectiveness in doing business with the federal government. And there are free data tools that you can outline which federal agencies and departments are buying your products or services, how much they are buying, if they have awarded any set-asides, and identifying who your competition is in the marketplace, and sometimes potential partners, and identifying contracts that are scheduled to expire that you can potentially compete for in the future. So overall, with the right data, you can strategically identify potential customers, learn more about upcoming procurement opportunities, get the key points of contacts in the agency, their awareness and willingness to use the GSA multiple award schedules or other GSA contract vehicles, and other pertinent information. Next slide, please. As you can see, the strategy here is conducting market research. It is important to understand the federal business landscape for your product or service, and to know who is buying your product or service or has a need for your product or service. You will also need to identify your target agencies and departments, and using the data from your market research will help you identify where you have to, have the most leverage, and what departments and agencies provide you with the most opportunity, or have the strongest need, or have shown the strongest buying behaviors toward the purchasing of your products and services. Next, you will want to develop your strategic plan on how you will focus your efforts and allocate resources. Once you have identified your target agencies, you can now develop your strategic plan with long-term and short-term goals that you will have to use to capture opportunities. You will also develop your marketing strategy, which will outline the activities that you will pursue throughout the year to meet your long-term or short-term goals. Last, based on your marketing strategy, you will refine your approach. It's all about the data. The next few slides will help identify some of the free tools you can use as a reminder in order to stay on track. Please work with your local APEX office because there's a lot of steps and a lot of areas that you will have to research. And they are your best resource to help you guide you through this research process. Next slide, please. So using SAM, you will be able to generate reports. The Federal Procurement Data System is an excellent resource, gathering a good understanding for what is happening in the market for your product or service. Typically, anything that is purchased at $10,000 or above is required to be reported to the FPDS. It is essentially a repository of these contracting action reports, or rather receipts for products and services that have been procured by the federal government. FPDS provides you with a historical snapshot of products and services purchased by federal agencies. And this historical information will let you know which federal agencies are buying your products and services, how much they're buying, and help you build an expiring contract report. And there's just so much more. Next slide. You can also go directly to FPDS to look up specific contract data. For example, you can search by NAICS code in the easy search box. If you enter the NAICS code, for example, 236220 for general construction, the results will give you a list of contract actions where you can view specific contract data. Now, this information is being entered by the agency contract staff, and sometimes it may be incomplete. Just move on to the next. And you will definitely have to do some research in order to find the agency's point of contact, and plan on doing some indirect marketing to those offices, awarding contracts for your products and services. You can send your capability statement and inquire about future opportunities directly with that point of contact listed. Next slide, please. Okay, U.S. spending is another tool that can be used for conducting marketing analysis. It is a government source for data on federal grants, contracts, loans, and other financial assistance. You will be able to search federal awards by state, congressional district, county, and zip code. FPDS still serves as a source of usaspending.gov contract data and makes available federal procurement reports. This includes data on contracts of more than $25,000 and summary data of procurements less than $25,000. The data in usaspending.gov are by federal agencies and represent awards including grants, contracts, loans, and other financial assistance. So federal agencies are required to submit reports on awards within 30 days. So just keep that in mind. Next slide. Okay, so here's a snapshot of the dynamic small business search profile. Please take a look at your current profile page. This site is essentially your free advertisement to the federal government and potential teaming partners. And we mention this because we see outdated information on company profiles quite often, and it could be an email or a phone number that's out of date or not in service. My apologies. I just want to make sure that we're on the right slide here. If we can advance to dynamic small business search. There we go. Beautiful. Thank you. So as I said, we mention this because we see outdated information on company profiles quite often, and it can be an email or a phone number that may not be in service or the point of contact who is no longer with the company. This site may be your first contact with the federal government agency. So please update it and ensure it accurately reflects your current business. Your DSBS profile can leave unpopulated fields, so pay attention to your capabilities narrative. It may need to be polished. Make note of any specialized services or supplies you can provide, and technical expertise that separates you from your competitors in this section as well. Also, take a look at your keywords. The keywords help narrow the search results, which may be helpful if a federal agency is looking for some additional specialty or specialty skill, which is less common under a general NAICS code category. And make sure that you update this section with your common industry keywords and those specialized keywords that, again, differentiate you from your competitors. Now, updates are done by visiting connect.sba.gov. And some of you may not even know this because you may not have visited your company profile, but just yesterday, I was counseling a small business, and they did not know how to go into their dynamic small business search company profile and update it. So again, you can do this by visiting the connect.sba.gov and request access to your DSBS information. And it can take up to 3 days to access it. You can also view a video by clicking I need more information on how to access DSBS from the homepage of connect.sba.gov. I found this video to be extremely helpful. But if you need any additional assistance, you know where to go, your local APEX. Next slide, please. So there is an update to the dynamic small business search profile. The SBA now allows you to link your capability statement to your profile, which helps you market your business to federal agencies and potential teaming partners. Sometimes you can't put everything into your from your capability statement onto your company profile. So this is a huge deal. This is a big one. Use the link on the bottom on this slide to find the instructions on logging into your DSBS through the SBA Connect, and then upload your capability statement. Next slide, please. I just want to quickly cover the sources sought notice because this is critical. So what is a sources sought notice? Some of you may not be familiar with this, but when federal agencies are looking to identify an acquisition strategy, we conduct market research. Another way to conduct market research is by posting a sources sought notice. These notices are posted on sam.gov, and the results of these notices will actually help form the contracting officer's determination to set aside the opportunity altogether, or determine if they can set aside using a social economic category such as the 8A, hub zone, woman-owned, or service disabled veteran business. It allows us to determine and document our findings, and supports us if a contract goes full and open which means it will be open to both large and small businesses. However, when enough responses are received from small businesses, it can help our federal agency and the other federal agencies determine if it will be set aside for small businesses. Now, why should you respond to a sources sought notice? GSA wants to determine if we can set aside the opportunity for small businesses. When we receive 2 or more responses from small businesses who are capable of performing the product or service, we can successfully set aside a contract opportunity. It will also help us to determine the small business subcontracting goals for contracts that are not set aside. So if a contract is awarded to a large business and the dollar threshold exceeds the $750,000 for products and services or 1.5 million for construction contracts, the contract will require the large business to establish a subcontracting plan, which our office reviews, and it should generate some subcontracting opportunities for small businesses. Now, we would also like to quickly offer a couple of tips regarding your response to a sources sought. Please make sure that your response is aligned with the requirements listed in the notice. Overall, make sure your response demonstrates your capabilities and expresses your knowledge and experience. Also, make sure your past performance is relevant, recent, and cite contracts your company has performed which involve the same or similar scope of work. Next slide. Okay, so we're going to now move into and dive into the GSA Multiple Award Schedules program, the MAS program. Now, this is going to be a brief overview of the GSA MAS program, the minimum requirements, where to start, how to submit an offer, and other general information. And we will say that one of the best GSA MAS webinars to attend is the GSA MAS office hours. We will provide you with the link for that webinar in the next few slides, and the senior contracting officers of the MAS program actually conducts those webinars, and they have past recorded webinars as well for you to view, which covers a lot of the details. So again, this webinar is basic information about the MAS program. I will now turn it over to my colleague, Anthony Caruso.
Thank you, Lori. That was wonderful. That was a lot of information. And next slide, please. So, what is the GSA multiple MAS? It stands for the Multiple Award Schedule. These are long-term government contracts with commercial companies that provide access to millions of commercial products and services at fair and reasonable prices to the government. The schedules make buying easy and efficient and connects government buyers and industry partners. Here's another reason why it may be worth looking into obtaining a GSA MAS contract. It currently generates about 42 billion, that's 42 billion with a B, in sales every year. That's about 10 to 11% of the federal marketplace. And once you obtain a GSA MAS contract, you can directly market yourself to our customer agencies, which include federal, state, and local governments, as well as various other organizations. There are also potential opportunities in both subcontracting as well as in the prime contracting arena. The best website to get started for the GSA MAS is our MAS roadmap, which is listed below. Next slide, please. Our GSA MAS contracts are publicized by a standing consolidated solicitation, which is posted on sam.gov under the contract opportunities sections. We have a slide coming up with that direct link. The MAS contracts are 5 years with 3 5-year options, essentially making them a 20-year contract. These are multiple award, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, or IDIQ contracts. There are currently over 19,000 scheduled contractors, and about 80% are small businesses. So there is quite a bit of competition on schedules, but it's a good chunk of change you're missing out on if you're not on. So it's imperative you do that market research to make sure the customer agencies you're targeting are utilizing the GSA schedules. The checklist on the right shows you that the GSA MAS is not a certification, nor does it guarantee you any sales. It is not mandatory in order for you to do business with the federal government. There's a lot of way to do business with different federal agencies and military installations. That's why in doing the market research, you need to make sure that the customer agencies, again, are utilizing the multiple award schedule to buy the specific services or products that you're selling. Remember, it is not mandatory for agencies to use, but many of them utilize the schedules because it cuts down the paperwork on the back end for them and makes it easier to go directly to you to buy these products and services. Next slide, please. This slide shows a list of some of our customers, which includes DoD and all the federal civilian agencies, as well as state and local governments, as well as tribal entities. One of the largest ways we reach our customers is through our GSA Mass, as well as some of the IDIQ contracts. This is really what makes GSA so special and what sets us apart from other federal agencies. GSA's mission is to ensure that agencies can focus on their mission. Next slide, please. So our GSA Mass went into a consolidation probably about 2 to 3 years ago. It is now broken into 12 large categories. There are subcategories that fall under those large categories, and the subcategories are directly related to your NAICS code. You can see the 12 large categories listed here: IT, travel, professional services, human capital. My favorite, miscellaneous. That's basically everything else that didn't fit into the other 11. Next slide, please. Here's a sample of our large category, which is furniture and furnishings, and the subcategories within this larger category. The SINs, again, are directly related now to your NAICS code. So you have the large category, furniture and furnishings, and then it breaks it down to flooring, signs, miscellaneous, furniture, furniture services, fitness solutions. And if you looked in IT, there'd be network services, cybersecurity, and so on. So it's a large category, then broken down to the subcategory that is directly related to your NAICS code. Next slide, please. Our MASS program also promotes small business utilization by using set-asides. Total small business set-asides at the schedule levels include the services you see listed here. So there's a variety of them, from photographic services to snow and maintenance equipment. Next slide, please. You can utilize your market research based on the data that you have researched and see if the return on investment is there for you when pursuing a GSA Mass. This is a commitment you want to ensure that the program is best fit for your company. Again, doing the market research is really essential to figure out if the schedules is right for your company. You don't want to get on schedule and then have no return on investment. Many companies are asked, are you on schedule? You should get on schedule. It does not magically create sales for you. So it's really imperative that you do that market research and do that homework before getting on schedule. Many because you have 24 months to do 25,000 in business, and each subsequent 12-month period, you have to do 25,000 utilizing your GSA multiple award schedule contract. If you don't, you will get kicked off schedule for lack of sales. So you put in all that time and effort and have no return on investment. So really do that legwork on the front end, and it'll save you time in the long run. Next slide, please. Here's a snapshot of some of the products and services that we provide to our government customers. If you'd like to see a full list of what GSA buys, please visit our GSA e-library website below. You can also do a search by NAICS. If you see a special item number, also known as SINs, the SIN number now follows the NAICS code's numbering methodology. The e-library is also a great place to check out the competition. You can view and see the current GSA Mass contract holders, as well as view their pricing. If you sell something we buy under the Mass, you may want to consider working with GSA to pursue a Mass contract. It's opened all year, never closes for vendors. Next slide, please. As mentioned, you can do your search using the GSA e-library website, and this will help you identify if you're selling a product or service under our Mass contract program. And here's a snapshot of what that looks like. In the search engine, you can put IT, you could put furniture, you can put whatever you are selling, and what's going to come up is your schedule number as well as who currently holds a schedule under that specific category. You can look at their price list, terms and conditions of their contract, their socioeconomic indicator. So we're as transparent as possible, and you can see all that information just as our customer agencies will be able to view you and purchase directly from you. Next slide, please. This slide talks about the schedule sales query. That's a little bit of a tongue twister, and it's a great way to determine how much the current contract holders are making utilizing their mass contracts. So you can see your competitors, large, small, woman-owned, service-able, veteran-owned companies. How much how much in business are they doing utilizing their GSA mass contract? It is a really useful website to see what that return on investment might be for your company. Someone who sells something similar to you, products or services, you can see how much they are doing. Also, your competitors, who's on there, and how much are they doing? Is that time and effort worthwhile for you to get on schedule? Next slide, please. And here's some other things to consider. As a GSA mass contract, we mentioned you must generate at least $25,000 in sales in your first 24 months, and at least $25,000 each year after. Obtaining a GSA mass contract is only the first step. You still have to compete for opportunities with federal agencies. It is important for you to market your GSA mass contract to help differentiate your product or service offerings from your competitors. One of the ways you can do this is through market research, analyzing the data available to understand what federal agencies have a need for your product or service. I can't emphasize that enough. At what Lori went over in terms of the market research utilizing SAM.gov and FPDS.gov as well as USA spending, do that market research just like you would commercially, so you know the who, what, where, when, why, and you really understand how those customer agencies you're targeting buy your service or product. Next slide, please. Some of the prerequisites for getting on the multiple award schedule: you must be in business for 2 years. You must also provide 2 years of financial statements. These statements must verify that you have made $25,000 in sales overall for your business. We do not want to be the guinea pigs. We want to make sure that you are relevant in the field that you are looking to get on the multiple award schedule for. And this, we also want to make sure you're financially stable. Be sure to explain any information that reflects negatively on your business. For businesses operating for less than 2 years, please look up GSA Startup Springboard. This is for newer companies to submit an offer and be awarded a mass contract. The program is geared toward companies that do not meet the solicitation requirement of having 2 years of corporate experience or financial statements as it is outlined in the mass solicitation. You must also have measurable past performance, which is an indicator of your ability to perform the contract successfully. So it's imperative that you are able to show us that you're able to perform on any contract you might be awarded. Your products must also be commercially available and compliant with the Trade Agreement Act, or TAA, which states your products must be manufactured or substantially altered within the United States or designated country as defined by the Act. And if you don't know if your products are TAA compliant, just put Trade Agreement Act in Google and a list of those countries will come up. Next slide, please. So as we mentioned, the Startup Springboard program is geared towards companies that do not meet the solicitation requirement of having 2 years of corporate experience or financial statements. And this now applies to all mass categories. If your company cannot provide 2 years of statements, the Startup Springboard program allows you to leverage the work and project experience of your executives and key personnel. You can provide financial documentation in lieu of the required 2-year statements to demonstrate your company's financial responsibility. And again, please visit the MAS roadmap and follow the instructions listed here to view the information regarding the Startup Springboard program. Next slide, please. As was mentioned before, please ensure that you're registered in SAM.gov. We cannot touch you unless you are registered with SAM.gov. And when you electronically submit your offer through the GSA e-offer portal, it'll pull your information from SAM.gov. So it's imperative to make sure your information is up to date. Next slide, please. There are two training components for getting on the MAS schedule. It is the Pathways to Success and the Readiness Assessment Toolbox. And again, you can view them at the gsa.gov/MAS roadmap. You may see that that the MAS roadmap is something we are going to refer to quite a bit. And it is really going to be something you need to bookmark and we'll be going back and forth to as you proceed through the process. It is where all the templates are. It is where it gives you a further explanation for each of those templates, as well as directions. Basically, a roadmap that sets it out for you. Next slide, please. And again, here it is. I've mentioned this several times through the presentation, and it's really the most important website. It will provide you with the steps, formats, templates, instructions on preparation as well as submission. So it really is the focal point of where you will be going back to for your application to getting on schedule. Next slide, please. I also highly recommend downloading the MAS solicitation to ensure you understand the language. I always like to call it your nighttime reading because I guarantee it'll put you to sleep every night. A lot of FAR, Federal Acquisition Regulations, and GSAM, General Services Acquisition Manual. But you want to become familiar with the terminology, with the vernacular in the solicitation, because it is a 5-year contract with 3 5-year options, essentially making a 20-year contract. So you want to understand what you are getting your company into, what you are responsible for in getting on schedule. So it really behooves you to download the MAS solicitation and become familiar with it. Next slide, please. In order to submit your GSA MAS offer, you're going to go to eoffer.gsa.gov, and there you will find the steps you will need to complete. I have highlighted 2 places to start. We recommend you view before you begin, located under the contract offers box. I also recommend clicking e-offer, listed under the section Learn More About. You'll find instructions on the steps you need to complete. For example, you'll have to complete the authentication process. At one time, we used digital certs, which is no longer the case. You will have to use Fast ID credentials to access eOffer. And the Fast ID system allows contract to access many GSA's applications with one email and password, but you must follow the instructions on the eOffer homepage to register for your Fast ID. Overall, this is the site where you can complete the offer, submit the offer, as well as do any modifications, as well as access eBuy, which is where you will be able to view RFQs or RFIs that come out only for multiple award schedule holders. Next slide, please. Let's look at some of the items you will need to complete and submit. If your offer is being prepared and submitted by a third party, you'll need to complete and sign the agent authorization letter. You also upload your training certificates to eOffer for both the readiness assessment and pathways to success. And please note that your certificates must be dated within the past 2 years. Hi, Amanda. I know we're running out of time, so I'll be really brief and get through these slides. Next slide, please. This just kind of outlines the commercial sales practice, your financial statements, price proposal templates, and these are all things you will view on the mass roadmap. Next slide, please. Again, some required documents. I don't want to insult you by reading through them. Technical proposal, letter of supply from the manufacturer. Next slide. And then here's a sort of a list of what we covered. And then the GSA Mass Roadmap, again, we'll kind of walk you through it, as well as the GSA Interact site. Next slide. Again, some of the things that Lori talked about, the monthly GSA Mass office hours really gives you industry-specific information. Next slide. Next slide. And here's my counterparts throughout the nation. Please don't hesitate to give them a call, email them. They'll be happy to talk with you. Next slide, some information regarding the Apex. And my last slide, we'll be talking about myself and Lori's contact information. You need anything, please don't hesitate to give us a call, email. We'll be happy to talk with you. Thank you, Amanda.
Of course. Thanks, Anthony. And there's just so much good information, but unfortunately, that is the top of the hour. We are out of time, but for all the folks who joined us and all of the folks who are still with us, you will receive these slides as well as this recording via email. So you'll be able to review all of this information, including all of those resources that we kind of blew through at the end. In addition to some upcoming APEX Accelerator events that you may want to attend, some really interesting series and Caltrans events coming up. And as for questions, because we are out of time, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and answer these questions offline, and we'll go ahead and email you those answers directly to you. So you will be getting the answers. Unfortunately, it just won't be a part of the recording, but maybe that's why people who are watching the recording should attend our live session. And with that, thank you all so much for joining us today for the Doing Business with GSA. And thank you to Anthony and Lori for joining us today. It was a fantastic presentation.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Of course. And as you guys head out of this webinar, you will be redirected to our feedback survey. We always love to hear what you think about our events and how you think we could improve, or if we're doing absolutely fantastic, 3 thumbs up. So please do let us know. We read through those quite frequently, and we do take your feedback very seriously. So whether it's a topic or maybe a longer session you'd like to see, let us know. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day.